What it do? It's your girl Tamara Lanise, and you, my good sis, are tuned in to the very first YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing a nice natural look, great for the fall, using only one palette. That is the Juvia's Place chocolate palette. So if you're interested in seeing this video, go ahead and sneak off to the bathroom, put your headphones in, cut them up, and kick it with your girl. You know how we do. If you want to see more from me, make sure you comment and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's roll this intro in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright fam, so I am going to start off my routine or makeup routine with brushing out my eyebrows, getting all my hairs together the same way with a spoolie. I'm then going to start to fill in my eyebrows. So all I'm doing is going with the natural shape of my eyebrows and lining the bottom and also the top of my brows. I normally shave my eyebrows kind of thin, but I'm trying to actually let them grow back out, and they're actually thicker than I normally do, and I normally fill them in almost every day, so that's why I kind of shave them down. But anywho, I line the top and the bottom, and then I kind of brush up lightly just to kind of enhance those hairs that I have in between the two lines. I use a really inexpensive pencil. It's the LA Colors pencil. I got it from my dollar store, and I use the color black brown because I like my eyebrows to be a little darker. I'm now taking on a flat brush. I'm taking some concealer, 1 to 2 shades lighter than my skin tone, and I'm just kind of going underneath, just like I did when filling them in, just going underneath and cleaning up my brows, and making them the shape that I want them to be. Right now I am lining the top. I've already lined the bottom, and I don't really try to be perfect the first time because I kind of just clean off a little bit so I have room to go back and clean off more. I don't really make my eyebrows touch, so I don't really have the unibrow thing, but I do let my concealer touch because I'm trying to make these girls sisters and not cousins, okay? Now I'm taking my spoolie and I'm just, so it'll have the light to dark effect, because I see people walking around with the box eyebrows and that ain't it. So I just take my spoolie and kind of brush the product to the front. I don't really put product in the front of my eyebrows. I just kind of brush it to the front, and then I'll go back in and kind of fill in where it's lighter. Just keep cleaning, just keep cleaning. Just keep shaving off the product until you get the desired shape of your brow. So now I'm just taking my Real Techniques brush, and I am, it's a setting brush. I'm going to just kind of blend in all of the concealer that I used, kind of blend it in my skin, and go back in and kind of brush some more of that product to the front, because when I clean off the middle of my brows, it kind of cuts it off and makes it boxy, so then I go back and use that spoolie and brush my product out again. Here I am just trying to make sure my girls are sisters, and they're as close as I can to them being the same. Here I'm just going ahead and I am taking the Prime Correct Face Primer, medium to dark skin tones, and it is by Milani, and I'm just kind of putting that on my face. Even though I'm going to do my eyes first, I went ahead and kind of let that primer seep into my skin as I'm working on eyes before I get into foundation. Now I'm packing on an eyeshadow base. It is in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in the color I'm just kind of putting that on my lid and using that Real Techniques brush to kind of blend it in again before popping on my eyeshadow. Here we go, Juvia's Place Chocolates palette. It's the only palette that we're working in for this look today. So I'm going to start with that bottom corner color and kind of pack that into my crease. I'm not really doing any blending right now, just kind of packing it into the crease. Your crease is normally like when you open your eye, the part you can see right where you can like touch in your eyeball is right there. That's normally your crease. So I'm just kind of packing that brown color in there. So I'm going to keep packing and kind of going around the crease before I start with another color. So we're blending right now. Blending that color out. I am using the Morphe E28 brush to blend that brown out, the first brown that we put in, or put on rather. Alright, so now I'm taking the middle color on the bottom row in the Juvia's Place Chocolate palette, and I'm just putting that right under my brow bone, or right on my brow bone, just so it kind of gets lighter as it goes up, and it's not just my skin or the base that I put down, but it's kind of a color that's working in the whole look and in the whole palette. So you want to put something there and give you some negative eye space, but also something that kind of goes with the look. You don't want to keep it just your bare skin. Now I'm going with the darkest color in the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm just putting that all over my lid because you want it to go from, with the smoky eye, from dark to light. So I'm just going ahead and skipping over the next to the darkest color and putting the lid on, which is the darkest color in that palette, which is the first row, the last color. And I'm just making sure my whole lid is covered with this color. Now I'm going to take the next to the darkest, which is the first row in the first color, and I'm kind of putting it right on top of that darkest color, just so it all blends seamlessly and you can't really see that there is the difference in colors. It's a key to know that it's done right, is if you can just transition and you can blend and you don't see the difference in colors. So we just keep blending. So I'm just kind of going back in and kind of where colors maybe got washed out as I was blending, just kind of going back in and packing those colors on again and blending them out. You want to make sure all the colors you use are still visible. You can still see them, but you just want to make sure there's no lines in between. You want to make sure it's blended out to go together. But each color is important, so make sure if it washes away, you go back and add a little bit. And again, we blend in. Alright, so we're moving on to some color corrector. I'm just using a kind of reddish because of the undertone, so it's a color corrector. I have some hyperpigmentation under my eyes and on my cheeks and on my nose and around my lips a little bit. So I'm just kind of putting in some color corrector and kind of blending it in before I apply my foundation. Alright, on to foundation. So I am using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation. It's in the color Kano 150. And then I also put in some dots of a lighter color, Cameroon. And that's in the Juvia's Place stick. So I kind of just put those two all over my face. I sprayed my brush with some finishing spray, just so it's not dry, and then I start to blend it in. This is no special brush, it's just a flat top brush I think I got from Amazon. I do have a Real Techniques brush that I really like, but I don't know what I did with it. So yeah, just using a flat top brush to blend in that foundation. Make sure you get that neck, honey. You do not want to look light on top and dark on the bottom. That is not cute. So now I am taking my concealer and go ahead and highlight in my face. I'm using the Makeup Revolution London Concealer in Define. To highlight, I'm using the color C13. I love this concealer. It's very velvety and it's very inexpensive. I think it's like $8 or so. And I got it from like Ulta. But I'm just highlighting under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, under my nose and my forehead and chin. So basically the T-zone. I don't put a lot on my forehead because I have a small forehead, so I really don't have to do a lot of like contouring my forehead. So I only put a little bit like right above my eyebrows. And I'm using that Real Techniques setting brush to kind of blend all of that concealer in. And I like to kind of pat the outside or blend in the outside of where the concealer is, just so I have that as my stopping point, and then kind of move the product around above that. Now I'm going back in with a lighter concealer, and that is the ColourPop I'm using, and it's a little lighter than the Revlon, just because, like I said, I have that hyperpigmentation, and I want to be a little bit brighter right where it's darker at, which is right there in the middle of my eye. So I'm using that ColourPop, and this is in the color I think 1904. If not, I'll put it in the description of the video, all the products used here. But I'm not 100% about that color on the ColourPop. But yeah, a lighter foundation, if you have that hyperpigmentation, is good. And here I am contouring. I am using the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette, dark to deep. I really probably could get away with a medium to deep, but when I ordered this palette off Amazon, they only had the dark to deep in stock, so I just used the Sculpt, which is the middle shade. It's a little brighter than the actual contour shade. I use that to contour. And now I'm just using that same middle shade to kind of outline and sculpt my nose. I put that Revlon concealer that I highlighted with in the middle of my nose, and I'm just using the contour shade to go down the bridge of my nose, so I can kind of snatch your own up. And I'm using another setting brush to kind of blend in that nose, making sure I take it all the way up the bridge of my nose, up into my eyeshadow. I'm kind of just going back over my face everywhere that I contour, and just kind of going back over it, making sure it all blends together. Now I'm now using the Revlon, the Revolution Banana Deep Powder, and that's what I'm going to set under my under eyes with. Now I'm not a big person to like set my under eyes, and normally I don't even do it because it seems like my eyes get kind of dry when setting my under eyes. So normally I would be a person to kind of just press it in a little bit on a brush and just kind of press it in and wipe it off at the same time. I don't bake because I get a little cakey under there. So, and then I don't know what, I got a little too carried away and put it all over my eyeshadows. I had to go back in and fix it. So I'm just going back in and blending it back out. Not really hard to fix. It really didn't mess it up like that, but it was definitely something I had to kind of take my eyeshadow brush and kind of blend that off. But powder on your brows is like the bomb to having long lasting brows. Just try not to overdo it like I did. Now I'm just wiping away the powder, and I'm using like a bronzer so that when I wipe it away, it's not as, I guess you could say, ashy or cakey looking. It kind of brings some color back to my face as I'm wiping away the powder. Alright, so I'm just going back in with my contour brush and just kind of blending, making sure that everything is blended in now that I've removed that powder. And I am now using the Watch Me Blush palette from Crayon Case, and I'm going to use the orange and brown shade. Kind of tap on a little blush. Don't be scared of the blush, honey. So make sure that blush is evenly distributed on your cheeks. And then we're going to move on to some highlight, honey. So I take my little fan brush and I'm using the highlighter On a Roll highlighter by Crayon Case. I'm just kind of putting that on my cheeks, right above my contour, a little bit on the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose. Just give you a little razzle dazzle, little glow. And I'm going to take another brush and kind of blend in where it's just a little dense, kind of spread out that product. Alright, so now I'm lining my lips with that same black brown pencil by LA Colors that I use for my brows. I'm also going to take another lip pencil in the color Soft Plum, Smooth Plum. Yeah, Smooth Plum, and it's also by LA Colors, just so I can give a little color to my the outside of my lips. But I definitely want a dark and a nude in the middle. For the middle, I'm using a combination of two colors. I kept putting it on and wiping it off because I was trying to get the right nude in the middle, but I ended up using the MAC lipstick in the color Yash or Yash. And then I just put over it a gloss, and it was the I want to say that was LA Colors as well. Like I said, I'm not a big product junkie, but it was the LA Colors lip gloss, and it was in the color Topaz. And it's just like a nude, like pink lip gloss. And now I'm lining my eyes with a black LA Colors pencil. And I'm kind of flexing a little bit for y'all because I am not a wing liner kind of girl. Not because I don't like it. I love it. I just have not been able to master it. So I normally try to stay away from it. So I try to do a little wing today, and it actually didn't do too bad. So I might try this again. I think it's the liquid eyeliner. I've had a liquid eyeliner pencil before, but this is the NYX one, and I don't know, maybe because this was my first video, it kind of showing out a little bit, but yeah, definitely some room for improvement, but she was okay for me today. So here I am about to apply my lashes. I actually am now a lash retailer, so I have lashes for sale, and I have 5 different kinds of lashes. These are in the style Ari. It's a wispy lash, and it's so pretty. It's not a lot. It's just the right amount of lash. I'm normally not a big lash wearer. Like I normally do like the kind of natural looking lashes, but this is like the perfect blend between dramatic and natural at the same time. So this is in the style Ari. And once you follow like my other pages like Facebook and Instagram, which is Lavish Looks by Lena, you can always DM me, or you can see the different lashes and inbox me to order. So I used the Duo Pro Lash Glue, and I've already put that on the lashes, and I'm kind of letting it kind of dry, get a little tacky before putting it on. I normally would put it on kind of still wet, just a little bit tacky, and then kind of let it dry on my eye. And sometimes I think even in this video it kind of fell off, and I have to put it back on, but it's still really wet. As you can see, it's blue still, but that's the best way for me to do it. Like I'd rather it go ahead and be on my eye, and then as it gets tacky, it's already kind of in place, and I'll just move it around and put it where it's supposed to be. So like now I'm just going back in and kind of combing back out my brows from all that powder I put in before and all that stuff. And the lash glue is still kind of wet, so I'm kind of letting it dry down, and then I'll start trying to position it in the right spot. And as you see now, just kind of squeezing those together and making sure my natural lashes and the false lashes are as close together as possible, close to my waterline. They are one. You do not want to have a gap in between your lash and your natural lash line. Now I'm just adding in that gloss on top of that lipstick. Going back in and blending out that eyeliner or the liner, lip liner, making sure that it is blended in. And there is a smooth transition from the lip liner to the lipstick. Now I'm spraying my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray or Mist. Just give you a light refresher. Some people don't like the being sprayed in the face, so it's good for that. Just a light little dewy mist. Is the finished look, a nice chocolatey brown, great for the fall, using that one palette, the Juvia's Place palette. If you want to see more looks from your girl Tamara Lanise, make sure you comment and subscribe to my channel, and until next time, bye.